Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing LEGO sets and building them and other LEGO related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the PEUGEOT 9x8, the 24-hour Le Mans car. Let's see if we can see this here. The set number down at the bottom is 42156. It has 1,775 pieces, and I paid $200 for this set. Now, this set is one of the sets that I recently got during like Technic double VIP points, and there was a gift with purchase at $220 and stuff like that. So I figured it was finally time to pick this up. This will be by far the biggest Technic set I have ever put together, and so I'm really interested to see what it has in store. And I'm looking forward to it. So in this video, I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we go over the build portion for this LEGO Technic PEUGEOT 9x8 24-hour Le Mans set, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who watches, and then just to encourage and remind people that if you like this video, please click on that thumbs up and give it a like. And if you like the other videos on my channel, please consider clicking on that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future. All the engagement, likes, comments, subscribes, views, shares, all of that stuff really helps my channel grow, helps me reach new audiences. So I really appreciate it, and it allows me to be able to continue to do this, and it's really rewarding for me. So thank you very much, and hopefully you get something out of these videos. I know that I do, so I'm going to keep doing them regardless, but any and all engagement is really beneficial, so I really appreciate it. And then because this is sort of a bigger build than I often record video for, it is sped up faster than I normally speed up the build process, because this one did take me some time, and I did have some hiccups recording. There was a moment in the, I think the third or fourth step or bags of pieces where I accidentally paused the recording at a certain point and kept building and forgot to restart it. And I also had some hiccups with sound at a portion here, so I thought I would kind of record some just voiceover commentary for the build section, which maybe people like, maybe people don't, but either way I thought it would make this a little bit better. But there will be a moment where the sound of all the clicks and all the Technic pin noises and everything coming together will drop out for a little bit and then return for a little bit, and for that I am sorry, but I was not prepared to deconstruct all of the work I had done and rebuild it and re-record it just for the video, just so we could get that sound. So if you notice that, that's fine. Leave a comment about it if you want. And I'll keep trying to improve my setup and not make as many errors in the future. So after the first kind of two stages, each stage is several bags of pieces here, and I very quickly ran out of space where I record when I build. So I had to do this weird kind of not balancing act, but just this compensation where I would open up all the bags, have all the pieces there, remove the kind of built out model, and then put it back, and then, you know, bring it back and put the pieces there and this and that and put it in my lap and all this other stuff. So now we are without sound here, and we're into the stage 3. So now I take the main model away, start building all the sub-assemblies for this stage, and then once I have that sub-assembly built, I bring the work-in-progress model back to the desk, and I attach all these sub-assemblies. But you can see I'm very limited in space here, so in the future, for bigger sets that I build, I will either not build them in this location. I have a similar setup that I'll build and will allow for me to keep the work in progress model in frame while I build, or at least near me while I build. But in this case, it was just I tried to make do with what I have, and that's okay. So I think it's pretty cool to look at this model as we go through, because it slowly became much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It kept getting wider and it kept getting longer, and now you can see I'm adding some of these bigger panels out to the base, and it's increasing the width a good amount. We've already increased the length a good amount, but we haven't even done, sort of the back end or the front end yet or anything like that. So this model was a lot bigger than I expected, but that's pretty cool. It feels very realistic in some ways. It looks like they didn't overlook the details that were necessary. So I really appreciated that, and I also really enjoyed it. I thought this build was going to be a lot more challenging than it was, and while it was, challenging as any Technic build is, I think as someone, I'm not a Technic expert, but I have some experience with it because I've been doing it a lot more recently. I think it kind of came together pretty painlessly, which was really nice. So I'm very happy about that. And here I think we can get to a part where I pause the video, and then all of a sudden, yep, it's done. The back end was done. So we will come back and look at that during the rest of the review. Because that whole kind of sub-assembly for the back end looks really finished and really great, but there is kind of a nice feature about that I didn't get to show as I was building, but when I review the set, I will make sure to point out that stuff. And now we are working on the front end with those wonderful glow-in-the-dark bar pieces. I liked how we did this with little sub-assemblies, and then I would have the model kind of in my lap, and then I would bring it back up onto the desk in frame, add this to it, then put it back on my lap, work on some other sub-assemblies, and I didn't know where to put the sticker sheets. I had to work hard to shift the model all the way this way and that to try to make sure I was doing it correctly. I can't imagine how cramped it would have been if I would have tried to use the instruction manual for some of these bigger sets, and depending on the size of the instruction manual, I have been using the digital instructions, which I think prefer to have the instruction manual like the physical one and go through it, flipping the pages, because that's such an integral part of the build experience for me. But for the sake of recording, it's sometimes just too much space that the instruction manuals eat up. So I've found it beneficial to just use the digital like PDF forms. And we can see here we're getting close to the end of the build. So as I put the finishing touches on here with the last few stickers and the last few pieces, I just wanted to say thanks again and enjoy the rest of my review for this set. Okay, so that is this LEGO Technic Peugeot or Peugeot, I believe, 9x8 24-hour Le Mans set. This is, I think, definitely the biggest Technic set that I've built. I understand that I think like the Ferrari Daytona set or whatever, and one of the Bugatti sets, and there's a Lamborghini, like, what is it, Sian or something set that are quite a bit bigger than this, and that's kind of crazy to me. I almost, it was kind of difficult for me to record and build this just because this became so big, and I ran out of space for all the different sets that were or all the different pieces rather that were in this set. It did take me quite some time to build this. Thankfully, it came together without very many errors. I didn't have to like backtrack or do anything. I kind of was after my Corvette experience where I did make some crucial errors that caused me to have to redo a bunch of stuff. I was a little more careful about this. But this is an awesome set. I love this. It is huge, but it's very, very cool. So it is a hypercar, and there's just tons of really good stuff. It feels very faithful. It feels very just really rad. It just looks super awesome. So I'm a big fan. There were a lot of stickers in this set. Let me grab these sticker sheets. So we have one sticker sheet and two sticker sheets, including some relatively big stickers and some relatively small stickers. And so quite a lot of stickers on there. I think, some of them could be left off probably. I didn't leave any off. The more I do stickers, the better at them I get, and the less I complain about them. And there are some on here that are pretty great. The color match as far as the sticker goes is not great. I mean, it's pretty obvious where all these stickers are, and the gray and the dark bluish gray of the sticker versus the Technic bits is kind of noticeable. I mean, on the black it's not so bad, and that's that. But there are a ton of stickers. I don't know if it's worthwhile for me to try to point out all of them, but you can kind of see them whenever there's like writing or different detail. There is a lot of stickers. So obviously these big ones up here, there, and there. On the top we have a few. Back here we have some. If we look on the side, there are several stickers here, and if we look over on, if I've told it like this, we can see on the side of that there's some stickers right here. Right here is the Michelin Man. We do have stickers across this beam up there, and inside the doors can open. We have some stickers in there as well, including one kind of on like a headrest area for a seat. So that is that. It's difficult for me to hold this up and look at the back. These are all stickers here. There's a few more back there as well, like that. They're actually then around the front we have some like Michelin stickers down here, which are kind of tiny, and there's a kind of a Peugeot one right there on the front as well. A lot of brick built detail too, but a good amount of stickers. There actually is kind of an interesting thing. There's a sticker underneath this, which is right here, because this vehicle has a 6-cylinder engine that powers the rear wheels in real life, and then the front wheels are powered by an electric motor, I believe. So this sticker, I believe, is supposed to be sort of the battery and some of the other stuff for the electric motor that drives the front. So there are actually different gear systems that do the front and the back wheels. There's also different kind of suspension or shocks or whatever these would be called in the front and the back, and they're in different places. You can see the bottom, it's pretty dense. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, but there's also a lot of big pieces. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, I've had to kind of hold on the back of this because the back lifts off. This whole panel just is its own kind of sub-assembly, which includes kind of the holes where the wheels are seen through, and the all fin and everything, which I thought was really interesting because it looks so complete when this is on there. It like looks so well finished, but this is kind of feels like kind of a flimsy thing and a relatively thin thing, and underneath it exposes kind of a lot of stuff. So we can see like this gearbox differential or whatever. We can see it has on the underneath, we saw kind of that like suspension shock type thing. We have the 6-cylinder in here, which those pistons fire as we rotate these back wheels. We can see that there, which is very nice. Maybe some exhaust type pieces up there, and how this is all put together, which is very, very cool. I really, really like that. So it's interesting, I think, that it kind of has almost a finished look under here, because like this kind of stuff built out, even though you're not going to see most of that, because it's kind of designed to get a look under the hood, so to speak, at the back, even though that's not necessarily the hood. Up at the front, we can open up kind of what I would call the hood of this, and see this is where that kind of spring-loaded thing is up there to do that. And we can see from the top down some of the steering mechanisms and some of the engine kind of gears as well that spin as we rotate the front wheels. This does have steering for the front wheels, so we have the hand of God steering up here, which can turn the wheels. We have these big gaps where the wheels are, we can see the wheels through, so we have hand of God steering there. But the steering is actually connected to the yoke inside here. So it's not a steering wheel, it's kind of like a kind of a rectangular like yoke type thing there, but that also is connected to the front tires, so that works. And you can see it obviously spins that gear up there too, so that's a nice little detail, that there's working steering in there, as well as the kind of hand of God type steering, which is really, really cool. At the front, these are technically glow-in-the-dark beams there that are, it's a nice kind of gimmick. It looks pretty cool. They're attached pretty cool, so I like that. They're kind of next to some translucent cheese wedges there, which is nice. And I haven't really seen how well the glow-in-the-dark works. It's pretty dim, I would say, but that's okay. It's kind of a nice thought, and we do have a nice finished back as well, which is pretty sweet. And I love this. I love this set. It was really, really fun to build. It looks terrific. It's very cool that it has all these different functions and details. Both of the doors kind of open like they would, which is very cool. The steering is nice. Kind of this inside driver section is interesting. Working steering, the gaps for the wheels, big wheels here, and then just being able to open up the back, open up the front, and everything is really, really cool. I think, largely this is a display model, I would say. It is priced as such, and even though it has kind of functions and different stuff, I think those are more to, as like an added thing. I think this is supposed to like be shown off, and then kind of like you can show like, oh, look under here, look under the hood, so to speak, but literally, and see, I all the other different stuff, the attention to detail and all the other functions that are in here. So this is pretty great. And I liked the build. I don't mind these stickers. This was very, very fun. It took me some time. I can't remember how many pieces this is, 17 something maybe. Let me pull that up. Okay, yes, so this is 1,775 pieces. It's $200. I think it feels like there's a lot of stuff here. This has got good weight to it. It's big. I think I read that it was maybe 19 inches long or something, which it feels like it's bigger than that, but compared to like the $50 Technic sets that I've been doing, this is quite a bit bigger. And even compared to the Technic Batmobile from the Batman, this is quite a bit bigger. I think I read that this is like a 1 to 10 scale model, which is pretty cool, and it's nice to see that. But I'd also think there should be kind of more I think consistency in these scales, because I believe this is bigger than the GT, the Ford that came out. That's like $120, which I do want to get a hold of and build. I believe that's smaller than this slightly. I believe like the McLaren Formula One is slightly bigger than this, but I don't know if the scale is different. For those $50 sets, I think like they all feel very similar, but the actual scale, like ratio, is different. I mean, the Jeep one is probably a different, maybe that one's 1:15 or 1:25 or something like that. But then the McLaren Senna versus the Bolide versus the Mustang, like those are all kind of different. And so this is, 1:10 scale, and I think, I don't know what the bigger ones are, 1:5 maybe, like the Lambo and the Ferrari, like I consider the UCS type of Technic sets that are in the $300-400 dollar range that are really quite big. I think maybe those are 1:5, but I'm not positive, which seems like they would be massive compared to this, and this already felt really, really big to me. But really, really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Surprisingly easier for me to put together than I thought it would be, even though it is very dense and pretty complex. It just feels like it makes sense. It's paced really, really well. When you do stickers is good, and they weren't too terrible. I didn't mind putting them on. So the build was actually really, really fun. I think, if I wasn't recording the build, it would have been easier, because I maybe would have built this in a different place, and I would have had space to have the model, kind of near me, and have all the pieces here and be working all around it. I kept having to take the model and like set it on my lap, build a subassembly, bring the model back, attach the subassembly, and so on and so forth. So that did add some extra complications for sure. Going forward, if I were to build and review, other bigger Technic sets or other big sets in general, maybe I will do that somewhat differently. We'll see as I continue to change and develop different ways and different sets and different camera setups for all my different stuff that may be in the cards here. But for now, for this set, I think this will suffice, and it is very, very nice looking from all the way around. I don't know if this has like any VR or AR stuff to look at, but in the app for instructions, for example, you could look at this model in all 360 degrees. I think you can get a pretty good idea of everything in here, even if it's kind of hard to see the front and the back. Whoops. So here's kind of a closer look at the front that just really pushed all those around. Get that back in place, and if I hold this up to the camera at the back, you can see a little bit of black. The back here, of course, we do have a lot of blue pins that are visible throughout. Doesn't really bother me too much on this. It's such a nice model that the blue pins are just kind of one of the quirks of Technic sets, and when I'm looking at like the top down there, you can't see that many of them. I mean, a few back here, some axles, different things which aren't that big of a deal. Looking on the side, you can see a few more in various places, but I don't mind it too much. If you look at the front and the back straight on, I think you can maybe see more of them, but I don't mind that on this build. So pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with this. I think it's a lot of fun and really impressive, and it's such a cool model for cars. I think as far as accuracy to what this is based on, well, I watched Jang's Lego reviews of this set, and I think they talked about how the gaps up here for the wheels are a little bit big, and maybe the ones at the back are closer to realistic. I think that's true. I mean, the ones at the back do have these extra beams here, which make that a little smaller. They're also thinner a little bit. I'm not too familiar with Le Mans cars or this car in general, but we can see a little bit of like the gear work and that yellow piece in there that, stand out a little bit. So maybe these gaps are a little bigger than normal, but I don't I think it just looks really, really sweet. So in my mind, with someone who's not super into cars, doesn't really know anything about cars, or these kind of cars specifically, this was just a joy for me, and everything was kind of new to me. And so very, very fun. Again, this is kind of the next step up for me as far as Lego Technic sets goes. This is a way bigger than any of the other ones, and some of the ones I've been doing recently. This has like 3 times the parts or something like that. So this is pretty neat, and I had a blast building it and talking about it, and I'll happily display this with, I'm kind of building up a nice vehicles selection of between speed champions, between the icons and creator expert brick built stuff, between Technic of various sizes, and scales. I'm building up kind of a nice collection of vehicles here, which I will be happy to display all of these. And this is another great addition. And I do have some other big Technic sets and other smaller Technic sets, and I do have some other brick built vehicles that I'm going to be featuring on here in different ways of different shapes and sizes. So really, really cool. This is pretty fun. I like it a lot. So great. If you like this video, please consider clicking on that thumbs up and giving it a like. And if you like the other videos on my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego Technic, more vehicles, and then tons of other sets of various shapes and sizes and price points and piece counts and different themes and all different stuff. So click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. And if you wanted to support this channel, the best way to do that is over at the SoBricks Patreon, which is patreon.com/SoBricks. And over there, for as little as $2 a month, you can join and get access to all my videos early. You can get access to some exclusive videos, and I have a lot of other stuff in the works there as that continues to grow. So every little bit helps, and thank you everybody who gives, and I'm going to keep doing this, so I really, really appreciate it. And with all of that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.